Anytime, sweetheart.
You just spoke in the middle of my recording. Like, maybe you should show a little bit of respect. I mean, I've just hit the record button and I'm about to start talking and be like, "Hey everyone, welcome to the All Random All podcast." And you're like, "Oh, any time now, sunshine." No. You show me some respect as the host of this show. Hello everybody, welcome back to the All Random All podcast starring me, Viktor. That's right, Viktor. The best Viktor, the real Viktor, and definitely the only Viktor you should be listening to. And today, welcome to TribalMind and Friends edition of the All Random All podcast, starring me, Viktor. That's right, Viktor. The best Viktor, the real Viktor, definitely the only Viktor you should be listening to.
Yeah.
We've got a very special show for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, as per usual, Mr. TribalMind, who's there.
Hello, once more.
And in the blue corner, host of Save Sci-Fi. Did I get that right?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
right.
Save Sci-Fi podcast.
Spinobreaker!
Or on the podcast, David. Either way, I'm going with Spinobreaker, because that was the modding name I used back in the day.
Very good. And returning from last week, we have Triad.
Thanks, dude.
Welcome back.
I'm feeling the love.
Being as disrespectful as usual.
It's what we do.
And welcome back to the All Random All podcast starring me, Viktor. That's Viktor's best Viktor. We're going to talk about modding today, believe it or not. We're going to talk about modding, but first, before we talk about modding, got to get into a little bit of maintenance. As per usual, got to do some maintenance, maintenance. Just like, I just come in, just tighten a few nuts, little couple loose bolts here and there. You're probably thinking to yourself, Viktor, where the fuck are any of the fucking hosts that are supposed to be on this goddamn show? And
I'm thinking the same.
honest to God, I just can't tell you anymore. I have a reason every week, but right now I'm just like, okay, Mod Bro's not here, Bo's not here, Scott's fucking never coming back, probably. We were going to have Diesel, but Diesel's not here.
We could just go with what we go on my podcast. We just threw them out the airlock.
Okay, so everyone's been thrown out the airlock, which means they're just outside, because this isn't any kind of like spaceman podcast. Everyone's just sort of in their houses. So, nothing dangerous has happened to them.
Oh, that's no fun.
So today it's the TribalMind and Friends podcast, because this is fucking TribalMind and everyone who's friends with TribalMind in the real world.
Somehow, I actually have friends.
Except for
and they're all on the
myself, so I
podcast.
don't know why I'm here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am resigning from podcasting forever, and it was very nice knowing you. I'm just going to put this up here, so there you go.
Oh, come on now. You can be my friend too. Apparently we're going on without him. Very well.
Sweet.
So let's see. Today's topic is modding. Yeah.
You're such a terrible host.
I know. Okay, so like...
Let's say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the modding podcast, hosted by someone who has never modded anything, by another guy who knows nothing about everything, and a crazy man that is pretending to be host. Welcome and join us. I don't actually know what the hell I'm doing.
Which
I'm
one
just
am I?
going-
Yeah.
I don't know.
He didn't mention you at all. Apparently you're not included in the conversation.
Right.
I don't know who you are. Since I'm not the host, I don't know what's happening. I'm just going to let it happen.
Oh,
Victor, come back. Your show is dying.
So, anyway, are we
Victor,
gonna...
you're the only
So
Victor
anyway,
anyone should ever be
ladies and
listening
gentlemen,
to.
today we're going to talk a little bit about modding. So, the first thing I want to talk about, now obviously modding is, you buy a game, you'll play through a game and like, I don't know, like Skyrim or something. I'm playing some fucking Skyrim. And then I get to the end of the Skyrim, and obviously I'm on PC because Master Race. And then you get to the end and you're like, that was a fun game, but I'm not ready to stop playing Skyrim right now, and it's getting a bit dull. Maybe I should try and spice it up with a couple mods that change the game in some way by, say, making every dragon in the game Sandy fucking Ravage. Macho Man.
Or making every train of the game Thomas the Tank was going to be my interjection. I was just waiting for a point to say it.
I'm pretty sure there was also a My Little Pony version of that.
Yeah, just leaving that alone and walking away, backing up slowly.
So, the game I commonly associate with modding is I'm going to say Minecraft.
Yeah.
Minecraft exists very heavily because of a lot of the modding that's gone into it.
And a lot of the stuff that's in it used to be mods that they sort of added in afterwards.
Yeah, well, the thing with Minecraft as well, they added the command blocks in there as well, which added a lot more player creativity to it, which means people didn't need to install hundreds of thousands of mods to make the maps they were trying to achieve in Minecraft. And so I'd say in recent days, the modding to Minecraft, while still very strong, has sort of backed off just a little bit because you can do so much more with just the base game now.
Yeah. Yeah. My experience in modding is less with Minecraft and more with other games like Skyrim and Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that. Because they're big open world games, a lot of the mods that come out for those are graphic-based mods that focus on enhancing the gameplay and enhancing the visuals of the game more than anything else. Like Homeworld 2 and Sins of a Solar Empire are both classic examples of games that have got HD mods and then years later been especially with Homeworld 2, it was re-released in HD and all those mods are getting a HD revamp as a result. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, coming into my experience with mods, I mean, I've played a few Skyrim mods and things like that. Most times if I go for a mod, I'm going for a complete overhaul. Like, going back to... Well, Vampire Masquerade has a complete Vampire Masquerade The Final Nights overhaul. XCOM has the Long War overhaul. Even the Skyrim mod, like the first one I got was complete overhaul to everything. Like, for me, a mod is something that just is an improvement to the game as opposed to, oh look, I now have Sting.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, there's sort of 2 or 3 different categories for modding online. There's, you got your total conversions, which is what you're talking about, which takes a mod like, the mod that I worked on, the game I worked on was Stargate Empire at War and Empire at War Force of Corruption. And I helped a German team convert that into a Stargate game, and a different British team and German team converted into a Battlestar Galactica game. And then I worked on my own, combining those two and a Star Trek and a couple other things to make a big sci-fi mashup mod of Total Annihilation, which was crazy, and I never actually finished it. It was too many years spent coding, just seriously coding.
And Triad's experience in modding is?
I get bored of playing. I look for decent mods. I like, new worlds, new landscapes, new places to go into and explore.
Most of what you get is Fallout and Skyrim, isn't it?
Fallout and Skyrim mostly, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I used to play Call of Duty Zombies like heaps, always. Like, that was one of my favorite games that I've ever played.
I feel sorry for you.
And
My condolences. And
you should, because God, Call of Duty is so bad. But I stumbled across Call of Duty World at War custom-made maps. They released the tools for people to go in and make their own maps on the PC version, which I was like, holy shit, I can play in the Simpsons house and shoot zombies. Like, oh my god, it's so cool. And I would do that and be like, ah! fucking Call of Duty Zombies, and then but the main reason I did it was because, like, yeah, it's more zombies. Like, I'm sick of the maps they've given me, which are awesome maps, but I want more fucking zombies. I want to do more.
Yeah. It's like, I think there's few games are made with modding in mind, and the big ones that are definitely made with modding in mind is definitely Bethesda and the Skyrim games and Grand Theft Auto, not Grand Theft Auto, but the Skyrim and the Fallout games are definitely built with modders in mind.
And some of the city builders and things like that are quite open for modders as well.
Exactly, which is really good.
City Skylines was actually very open to modding. And so there's like, people were making content for that every day. Yeah. There was a developer who worked on SimCity who was actively making mods in the City Skylines community.
Yeah.
It seems to be a lot of modern games, if they're not like a railroaded game, if they're not very straightforward, they seem to be really working hard to give people mod kits now.
Some yes, some no. There are still the developers that see modding as a negative thing, and I can sort of understand where they come from. They put a lot of time and effort into this game, which is sort of their baby, and people are coming along and ruining it. From their point of view, I can understand that. But from our point of view, the modders' point of view, we're taking a game that we love, and we're sort of saying, well, what if the dragons spewed chickens instead of fire?
And what if those chickens explode?
Yeah, what if those chickens explode? What if... Yeah, and it's like in... back to one of the other mods that I played, my first game I actually modded was a demo, and it was an old Need for Speed game. And I was messing about in the INI files, and I found a way to add an extra gear into the gearbox. But the game itself didn't recognize it when I was racing. But if I crossed the finish line with the car in that gear, the car would jump to... so fast it would crash the demo. At one point I had numbers going from the speedo across the screen to the other side before the game crashed, and I'd done almost half a lap in like 4 frames. So that was sort of my entry level. And you've got Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. That game was probably one of my favourite games to mod outside of Empire at War. Adding in new dinosaurs and adding, like, modifying structures, modifying this, that, and the other. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So, since we're going into this, like, we've sort of gone into the topic of, like, what is the value of mods? Like, we do have different, like, as I said, there's different forms of mods out there. And it's everything from an overhaul to here's a new item in game.
To just aesthetical changes.
Yeah, there's total conversions, there's environmental modifiers, and then there's aesthetical stuff. So it sort of goes from turning a Star Wars game to a Stargate game to adding one specific ship to reskinning some ships, just to give you a different idea of the different scales.
So from a player's point of view, where do you place the value on modding? And would you consider most games benefit from modding? Or do you think there's certain games that they really do detract their value if you allow people to modding? Excusing, of course, competitive games where you're not allowed to.
Yeah. See, to me, I think it depends on the game. Some games have got that sort of feeling about it where modding comes really intuitively. And some games just don't. Like, I wouldn't go out of my way to mod, say, a Halo game. Simply because it's already fairly user-friendly as it is.
You know, the create your own maps and things like that are already built into it ever since Reach.
Exactly. Well, even before that, Halo 3 had the map builder in it.
Okay.
Where you could sort of make your own maps, design your own games. And some of the best fun I had was in Halo 3 and Halo Reach in custom maps. And custom maps could be viewed as a form of modding, even though it's sort of is, sort of isn't. That's more of a grey zone.
Yeah. Like, what do you reckon, Triad, in terms of mods? Like, other than just the mods, you know, for people just getting practice, like, where do you start placing value on mods? Do you think it's worth getting a mod with just a couple of random things, or are you looking for, like, an adventure mod or something like that?
I skip over the ones that are teeny tiny. I don't see the point in reskinning guns or putting in a new crossbow. I want ones that you have to work to get to somewhere. Like, yes, on the, Dawn Guard in Skyrim, you have to work hard and find the schematics to make the next level of bow, the next level of arrows. That's the sort of thing I like, but of course that's a DLC. But other people have brought into that and have created other weapons. And like, yes, I can see the value in that, but it's not what I'm after. I look for the ones that have 6 to 10 gameplay hours.
Yeah.
So
They're the ones that suck you in and you play until you have finished that mod.
Yeah. Well, put it this way. My housemate has specifically built gaming computer, and he's spent about $2,500 on it. And he bought Skyrim the day it came out. He still spends his 3-4 days off a week playing Skyrim just because of the mods. And it just adds that extra game time. It adds the extra longevity into a game. And it really disappoints me when companies go out of their way to make a game harder to mod. And so, yeah.
Yeah, the mods can make the game more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like, I went off Skyrim for a very long time. Then I jumped back onto Nexus, found like 5 or 6 new mods. I'm like, hell yeah, downloaded them all, and I'm still playing one. I've been playing it for the last week.
Yeah.
Like, those are the sorts of mods that I see value in.
As a question, like, for people that just want to muck around with it, is it worth them publishing their let's add one item to the game?
No.
Or do you think they should just wait and keep practicing making better stuff?
Keep practicing, absolutely. Because everyone seems to think they can make a mod and they'll put it up. But you might get 5 people that look at it. The rest say, oh, maybe if you do some more.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want a work in progress. You don't want a half-assed job. You want a decent, well-thought-out mod.
Yeah. The only downside to that is that modding can take a lot of time. Even reskinning something isn't as simple as sort of 10 minutes worth of work. It can take you days and days to reskin it unless you crack open the file in a hex editor and then you open it up in Photoshop or equivalent and then just change the use a hue saturation to sort of change the color a little bit that way. That's probably the fastest way to do that. But for the most part, a lot of modding is a lot of work. Way more work than most people realize. Even reskinning something can be a nightmare.
Well, that's why I just think, why bother? If you're going to go into modding, do something big. It'll take you time, but people like big mods.
Well, where I started was just doing audio sampling. I did audio sampling and coding to translate that Stargate, what I mentioned before, Stargate Empire at War, from German to English. And that's where I started. I then went from there and I started doing level design. And then I went from there and started doing campaign coding. And it was just sort of, it started off as a little thing here and there, and it was just releasing that out and then getting that out and then moving on to the next thing that got me going. It wasn't a case of doing sort of one big thing, because from start to finish there's so much stuff in there that you don't see that sometimes the trickle out effect is just as good, if not better, at building a fan base for a mod.
Yeah. I can compare that to like my video making and whatever. When I first started with like Sony Vegas or Premiere Pro, whatever I done, I opened it up and I took one look at it and I just went, close it, close it, close it, like, no, don't want it. And then as I slowly tried to get better and better with these fucking programs, I would get angrier and angrier and angrier at them until finally I worked out what I wanted to do, and now I just repeat that process over and over and I don't get as angry anymore. So if I went into Sony Vegas for the first or second time or whatever, and I said, I'm going to make a fucking hour-long fucking montage, fucking quick-scope video with hyper edits and fucking gonna do some blending as well with fireworks, so, you know, I'll throw like a ping-pong ball into a fry pan and then it'll crack into an egg and everyone will be like, oh my god. I'd probably have a fucking aneurysm about 10 minutes into it. And ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe this, BMG!
Yes, apparently.
Hello.
Start your recording,
Greetings.
noob.
Start recording straight away, dude. We started early.
Okay.
Yeah, I already started my recording.
Good. Okay, well, now that we've completely stuffed up
I'm going to
Victor's
spend the
page...
next 5 to 10 minutes fixing it up. And you guys can just keep carrying the conversation. Do it.
Okay, so coming into that, given Triad's opinion of, you want the big mods, you want the big stuff, this one's going to come up with a bit of a backlash maybe, but what's the opinion on paid mods?
It depends on the rights to the things. One of the big issues I had when I was working on my sci-fi at war mod was NBC was bringing out Battlestar Galactica Online. So they went through and they took down every mod that had Battlestar Galactica in it without notice. No warning, no notice, gone. I woke up one morning and my mod had been deleted off ModDB, which was the page that I was using. And if you're looking for mods, ModDB is one of the best places to find them. And it took me almost 2 months to finally get a reason out of them as to what had happened. And NBC had jumped on one day and gone, we're bringing out a game, we don't want any competition, so we're going to kill off all the mods. But the thing is, mods bring in fans. Yes, those people don't technically have rights to make a game with your characters. And under those circumstances, like the Stargate mod and stuff that uses licensed properties, I can understand that those mods shouldn't be paid. They should be free. Non-profit, free. They make no money from it. It's just a work of passion. But on other mods where it's your own custom stuff, your own custom content, your own sort of stories and that sort of thing, then that to me is moving more towards they do sort of deserve to get paid for it. Even if they get, say they charge $1 and knowing Valve and Steam and those guys, they'll take 99 cents of that dollar and pass 1 cent on and then round it down to 0. That's probably not what they're doing, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did. It's still an incentive. It's like the YouTube with the monetization. That's the word my brain's trying to find. Monetizing your videos on YouTube. You get paid a little bit for the content you're creating. And after a while, if your mod becomes really popular, then you can actually make a little bit of a living off that. And if you can do that, you can afford to spend more time working on the mod. And before you know it, you've got a Gary's mod, you've got a Minecraft, you've got one of these games that started off as a mod that's now massive in its own right.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the player point of view, like, question Bo, do you actually play many mods for games?
Considering my internet's pretty hard to actually get them, but when I do get them, it's usually for, just customization of, what your character looks like. I don't really get, big mods.
So you're an aesthetics modder?
Yeah, I just like the look of stuff, because I feel like the fans make better stuff than what the actual company does, so...
Well, they're focusing on storyline, or at least they should be.
So...
Yeah, well, some games.
Well, I was just saying, one of the mods that I did a little bit of work for was for Star Wars Empire War Force of Corruption. The story sort of ends fairly abruptly because they never sort of had a chance to do a part 2, which is what they're hoping to do, and it's never happened. So fans have taken the notes from what they were going to do for part 2, and they're actually making a mod of part 1 to tell the story of part 2. And those fans have now got the chance to complete that story. And I think that's a sort of a really good way of using mods, just as a throw out there note.
Well, I mean, you're looking at mods for being useful. Again, I bring up Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. That game came out broken. You couldn't actually finish it. The official patch barely managed to fix it, and the company went under. If it were not for the modding community, and that is a absolute horrible game to mod. If it weren't for the modding community, that game would have never gotten anywhere.
No.
But because people have worked so hard to bring the story in, because it's Vampire the Masquerade, it's a very big RPG game, you know, that game became a cult classic to so many people, including me. I didn't even know Vampire the Masquerade until I found that game. And I became obsessed with the White Wolf, well, the Darkness world from that game.
Yeah. Well, it's like Knights of the Old Republic 2 recently had its first patch in 10 years to allow it to work on newer systems and all that sort of stuff. The problem was there was a couple of really decent bugs in it. But since then, modders have come on and they've created patches to fix them. Some of them are as simple as a sound that was just getting louder and louder and droning everything else out. But now, thanks to modders, that doesn't happen anymore. And it's little fixes like that, which I think are almost as important as the full total conversions. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's great when the modders can come in and fix what either the developers didn't have time for, or the developers didn't think of changing. Like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that comes out early is just, as Bo said, like, reskins. Here's a reskin. Here's a, you know, high-res version of these things. You know, it's not needed, but it's pleasant for those people that want them and can run them.
yeah, the guys that have the like $5,000 computer system for no other reason than video games.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, I know. There's like there's a Skyrim mod that one of my friends got, and he was just like, "Oh, the trees don't look good enough, and the water doesn't look good enough," so we got a water and tree mod or something. I was like, "The trees look fine. The water looks
Yeah,
fine. I'm
Tribal does
confused.
that.
What are you talking about?"
No,
He's like, "They don't ripple correctly."
I'm not quite that bad, but I do get like a couple of the... Like, I got some of the decent high-res stuff for Skyrim just to improve it a bit. But, I mean, I actually haven't run Skyrim on this new system. It'd be interesting to see how much I could kick up the high-end graphics on this system.
Well,
But,
for the OCD nerds, it might seem a bit weird, like, oh, you want better-looking water? Like, you spend that much time looking at the water? Come on, man. For the video creating community, people get shader mods for Minecraft, so that Minecraft doesn't look shit. So they can make better-looking videos in Minecraft, or time-lapses, or shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
and they want that, and that just might be something that bothers them and would help their video do a bit better, because, oh my god, how good does it look, people say when they watch this video.
Yeah.
So,
Minecraft.
so coming off the, you know, working your way up to a big mod and things like that, what do you consider someone going into modding with the plan to going into game development? Do you think that is of equal value to someone, you know, going to uni learning the same things?
Yes. And it's free. I learned so much from developing the Stargate mods and stuff like that. Like, I did a TAFE course in 3D modeling. I already knew most of that TAFE course before I started it because of what I'd done in the modding community before then. In like Photoshop, I taught myself Photoshop before I did my course on Photoshop for the modding stuff that I was doing. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn online for nothing that you can use through modding that'll help you do that. Like, again, a lot of the Oblivion mods were incorporated directly into Skyrim from the get-go, and people who actually bought from the modding community were paid by Bethesda? I think it was, Bethesda, to come into the company and work for the company, and that's how they got their job there. They started in the modding community. And
It's almost like getting an apprenticeship to be like a plumber or something. Like you
train going past.
Train. It's sort of like, it's like you do an apprenticeship.
It's sort of like getting a train.
Yeah. You learn the trade while you're doing it, as opposed to going to a school to learn it through books and paper and, you know, having people yell at you for being stupid.
Other things that are very irrelevant.
Yeah, well, it's like Quantum College in Brisbane City. I've heard all sorts of stuff about what happens in there from people that used to go there.
I went there.
And they've said that you may as well have been in the modding community before, because that's about as much help as you would have got by going there.
Yeah, I actually did a year at Quantum. I failed. And one of my key issues in the later ranks of it was, here's a game engine. It's buggy as fuck. Here's the coding for it. So I managed to get the coding right. Game engine wouldn't run it. And they came to me and, just change the coding. It's fucking right. Like, they looked through it. The coding was right. The game engine was broken. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you teaching me? Like, give me a game engine that works.
Yeah. Well, some of the challenges in the modding community is working to your engine. Like, I know I keep going back to Empire at War, and I'm trying to go to other ones as well, but that was the one I did most of my work in. It's got a very sort of flat level fighting system when you're in space, because it's got space combat and land combat. So when you're doing space combat, all your ships fly on a two-dimensional plane. Only the smaller ships like the fighters and the bombers fly on a three-dimensional plane. And some of the Star Trek mods I helped out with were trying to get the larger capital ships to move on the three-dimensional plane. And one of the most hilarious bugs as a result of that is the capital ships would start dancing and spinning around each other and then fly up out of the top of the map, never to be seen again. And it's just like, that's not meant to happen. Why are they doing that? And we had to create a whole new set of Lua coding in order to tell it, if it reaches a certain Z point, to turn around and come back down, so it just didn't leave.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was an absolute nightmare. And yeah, it's just a case of playing to what the limitations of the engines are. Like, again, the phaser effect in Empire at War is absolutely rubbish, because it's not designed for phasers, it's designed for lasers. And phasers being a point-to-point beam, lasers not, they're being sort of staticky. It was very hard to try and get a phaser effect in that engine without it sort of looking like crap. And in the end, it never really worked.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it comes down to how your learning style is too. Like, if you're really motivated to do a good mod, you're probably going to learn more from doing that mod than you are from going to uni. But if you're one of those people who you really need that, like, other people motivating you and being in a class environment and things like that,
and structured support.
Then you're probably going to fail at modding because you don't have that backup pushing you.
Well, you do. If you release your mods small, like I did. Like when I first released Sci-Fi at War, it was Stargate, Star Wars, and Star Trek. And those were the three main mods that I was working with. And then I added Battlestar Galactica because everyone wanted me to add Battlestar Galactica. And then a Halo mod came out, and I talked to them, and they let me use their units. Now, all these different mods I'm taking units from and coding in together, I am linking back to the original project. And for the Halo one, I actually gave them better bullet effects and better sound effects than what they had in their mod. It's my sort of payment to them for letting me use their models. In the Star Trek one, I did a lot of it, put a lot of time into trying to get the phasers to work, which never happened. But I tried, and it took ages and lots of experimentation to get that, to realise that it's just not going to happen.
So the modding community has more of a sharing atmosphere then?
Some of them do, some of them don't. You do come across the modders that are like, nope, this is mine, don't touch it, how dare you touch it? And they're very sort of protective of it. And to me, that sort of works against the whole philosophy of modding. The philosophy of modding is sharing. Yeah. That's the point. Yeah, sorry.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So what was your opinion on paid mods, both Bow and Triad? Either or. Jump in.
Bo, do you think people should pay for mods?
I personally would never pay for a mod, but I just like the stock game usually, and I get bored pretty easily, and mods don't seem to save it for me. But I think if they're good enough, if they're like large enough, then yeah. But obviously, it's a licensing thing as well. Like if the game developers don't want you making money off the mods, then I guess there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, which is kind of something that was brought up before you come on the show, licensing problems with making mods, period.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So Triad, what's your opinion?
Unless you're going to do a big epic one, then no, I don't believe you should ask for money. If you do, make it like crowdfunding.
Or donations?
Yeah, or donations, like so that people can actually have a hand in helping you make it. Like, if you consider, what's his name, Alexander Velicki, who made Folscar. He took a year off of everything and spent 2,000 hours making that, and now he's got a job at
Bethesda?
a gaming company. No, not Bethesda. Something else.
So,
And,
for those that don't know, Folscar was a massive new map, new quest, everything
20 to
added
30
for
hours of
Skyrim.
gameplay added.
Yeah.
It's like he was lucky he had the support of his dad who let him do nothing for a year to make it. So I think if people are interested enough in a mod of that size and that depth, then yes, ask for money, but don't ask for people to pay for it when you finished. It's like if you need a bit of extra help bringing in people to do voices, a bit of editing, a bit of coding, whatever, and everyone's excited about this great mod that sounds brilliant, then yes, crowdfund. But having to pay for mods, no. Half of them aren't even worth a cent.
I don't know, if it's... Like, I can see something like, 75 cents for a new skin. Like, I don't see a big deal with that, and I feel like paying for mods, like, is a good way to, help motivate the mod developers to, one, make more mods, and two, get resources to make better mods. And so I feel like, in some way, while, yes, free mods is awesome, and being able to just go and mass download all these mods for completely free is one of the greatest feelings ever, and you log in, oh my god, look at all my mods, and it didn't cost me a cent. A lot of them are rubbish, and my answer to that is don't support rubbish mod developers. And I don't know, I just think if we paid for mods, then we'd have more modders, we'd have better mods, and we'd have people making mods more often. Like, your favourite modder wouldn't have to, show up to a 9 to 5 job. He'd be able to sit at home and work on his mod. Because, hey, he's put out a bunch of skin packs for 75 cents a skin or whatever, and people are buying them. Because, hey, what's 75 cents to me? I mean, in my position, I wouldn't be paying for mods because right now I don't have the money to really start, flogging at the big ones to make my game experience a bit better. But if I did have the money, I'd be perfectly happy with lending my modder, giving modders a couple extra bucks here and there, so that I can help them, so I can support them, so they can make more mods and better mods.
I mean, the two things on that I would say is that, I mean, I've paid for DLC that added 6 hours to a game, if that.
Well,
and
one thing I was
going
to say is, like, Microsoft charged $15 for a skin pack for Minecraft on Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, on PC, I can just upload a fucking skin for free on the website.
And the other thing I'd put down would be, considering the way that Greenlight and early access games are right now, like how horrible that control is and the quality control. If mods were going to go paid, there'd need to be a fuck lot of money invested in proper quality control. Because even if you're charging 75 cents, if you're charging 75 cents for a reskin that is worse than the original skin, because, hey, I can make some quick money, you're going to have the same problem.
That was going to be my point.
Yeah, well, so, like I said, one of the ways you could do it is sort of like what Google did with the monetization on YouTube, or if you know what I mean, and have it so that if you want the mod for free, you can have it for free. If you love it, you can then say post-pay $5, $10, sort of like Triad said with the donate system, and that would be one way of doing it.
Yeah. And I've seen Patreons as well for people
Yeah.
who want, like, who people ask money to support them to draw pictures.
Yeah.
Like this dude.
Patreon,
This-
GoFundMe, Kickstarter, they're
Yeah.
all brilliant for depending on what you want to do.
Yeah, and he's just drawing pictures. You know, he's not playing around with code or making video games or nothing. He's an artist, and people are paying him to draw things that they like looking at.
There's a lot of small music bands that are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I've almost exhausted my options of topics to question here.
I did have a question.
well-
Did you want to say something? Either of you two who were kind of talking.
I was just going to throw a question out, but I can wait until after.
Yeah, the question I had, I was having this discussion with one of my friends a while ago, because I drive him around sometimes. It's not you, Bo. I drive him around sometimes because he doesn't have a car or a license.
Because you don't drive me around, punk.
Exactly. Except for the time
I drive you around.
No. I've driven you around a couple
Yeah.
times. We're not having this discussion
man.
right now.
Now, children, don't make me send you to the naughty corner.
And we sort of brought up modding at one point, you know, and because he's really into GTA 5 modding.
Yeah.
And one thing I mentioned just like through like in the middle of one of my sentences was mods aren't really what's going to make a game good though. And he stopped me there, and he's like, yes, exactly, thank you, someone who finally said it, because he believed that it doesn't matter how much a mod will fix a game or make a game playable or make a game awesome. It's not what makes a game good, and you can't judge a game by its mods.
Yeah.
Do we have opinions on this?
I would agree, for the most part. Where mods can add longevity to a game, if the original game isn't that good and modding for it is quite difficult, then yeah, it's not going to make a difference. I'm not actually sure what my point was
Yeah,
then.
I pretty much agree with that. I pretty much agree with that. Like, if it's a shit game, it's gonna be like it doesn't. The mod could be the best mod of all time, but the problem is you have to also get that mod. And if you're like me, you don't have very good internet. Probably take you like 10 years just to download it.
I used to download all my mods at TAFE. They had
See,
T1
that seems like a
connection.
brilliant idea.
Go back to uni, Bo. Oh wait, you just left.
I used to download through the TAFE internet connection after everyone went home because a lot of my courses were at night at 16 megabytes a second. I'd be like, woohoo! I get my new Stargate mod in. Done.
So, Triad, your opinion on that
the
question?
the internet at unis is crazy.
Just to drag us back
I've
around.
forgotten the question.
Do you? I feel like I was making more of a point than a question when I said it, but do you think mods can make a game good? Like, if it's a pretty average or a rubbish game, but the modding community and the mods that have been built for the game are really awesome, does that make it a good game? Like, can you judge a game by its modding community?
Mods enhance a game. They cannot make a shit game good. They can just make it slightly more interesting.
Yeah.
So, like makeup.
Yeah.
So, like, if
It
I
takes
was-
an ugly
so
game
if
and
I was
turns
to
it
put
to
on
something
makeup
presentable.
right now, if I just went here and I put on all my makeup, you would all go, "Wow, Victor, you look
You still look
even."
like shit.
You look like a bit better than yourself.
Oh my god, Victor, were you in a fight?
Oh my god.
Because
Like,
it's
if
like
the game
it's like
is shit, why are you playing it
multiplication, right?
anyway?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Why is anyone
mean-
making a mod for it? It's
But
like
I mean, if it was
multiplication,
something
though.
like-
See, like, take the example.
But see, like, if it was like this, I mean, if someone just made a new IP and it was rubbish, like, say, Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs come out kind of boring. No one really liked it that much. But the modding community, then there would be some modders for it, maybe, but it was a kind of rubbish game, so no one was behind it. But if it was something like KOTOR 3, like if someone brought out KOTOR 3, actually, no, a perfect example, the latest SimCity game.
Yeah.
The latest SimCity game was arse. No one fucking liked it.
Don't say was.
And then along came City Skylines, and everyone was like, oh my god.
Yeah, but like, so like KOTOR 3 or SimCity the latest SimCity comes out and it's not that good. But there were so many people hyped for it, and there were so many people who love the series. I can for sure see the die-hard modders and the die-hard fans of the game trying to go in there and try and salvage something.
Yeah.
Well, there'll always be those sorts of people.
It also comes down to the game mechanics. If the game mechanics at its core, like Empire at War isn't the best strategy game or anything like that. It's a fairly average game on its own. What stands it out from a lot of other games, especially space sci-fi games, is that you've got space battles and planet battles in the same game. Very few games have that sort of real-time strategy, move your ships around in orbit, and then actually physically conquer the planet type in them. And I think that's what made sort of Empire at War the modding powerhouse that it is. That, and it was coded in HTML, which is the seriously easiest thing in the universe to mod.
I mean, the other thing is, like, you don't have to have a great game for a modding community to get behind it. But you have to have something great in the game that makes it worth fixing the problems.
Yeah.
Like, again, I keep going back to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. As I said, the game was fucking broken at release. You couldn't play it. Well, you couldn't finish it. But the story, the quests, the story was so good that people were willing to look past how shite the game was, and they fixed it just so you could play those quests. So sometimes a game can be bad, but if it's got at least one aspect that's really good, you might get enough people interested to fix it.
Yeah.
It's not really modding, but you're fixing it, and that's enough sometimes.
Community-made patches.
Yeah.
I think Vampire Masquerade is up to unofficial patch 9.6 something or other. It's been going forever.
A lot of patches.
Oh, yeah. But yeah. So, who was the other person on the topic? Spino.
Next question. If you guys could had all the skills you needed to make your own mod, what game would you mod and what would you do to that game?
Minecraft
shall we go through
nudity.
Should have seen that coming.
I'm probably going to have to back that one up.
I'm starting a Kickstarter right now, baby.
So wait.
love those
Before we
blocky graphics,
continue, is it going to be like a block penis and two little blocks for the balls, or
Have you seen?
how are they going to make a block vagina? I'm confused.
I was. It's an inward box cutout.
That's what I was thinking.
I don't think
Do
I
it.
want to. I don't think I want to
Do
dig
it.
into my psyche to work out how I'm going to actually build this mod.
That awkward moment when your first thought in your brain is, what has science done?
Oh, God.
I noticed a complete and utter silence from Triad at this moment.
I don't get the whole
Yeah.
Minecraft thing. I mean, it looks like a shit game. So.
It is a shit game.
There we go.
The mod might make it good. The mod might make it good. There's
Minecraft
there's
Unity
some
makes
stuff in
everything good.
Well, Minecraft
Yeah, it's
isn't.
true.
Minecraft isn't a great game. It's like when it was released, it was like, oh, this is interesting. The thing that drove Minecraft was the modders and the content creators, and that's probably the only example of a game that was pretty average. That through modding and content creators and map makers and skin makers and fucking everything else, the game
Went
actually
nuts.
became one of the biggest games of all time.
You got a few other games like Trackmania in that, where they're just making ridiculous tracks.
Yeah. But anyway,
Like, I've never played it, but
that's
yeah.
that's cycling back to the last topic. So, does anyone have an idea? I need to think about this for a bit.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Oh, God.
let's
It's
hear it.
not ridiculous and does not involve nudity, but then again, if you want to make it, you can put nudity in it. I don't
Oh,
mind.
God.
No, I was just going to go
bad feeling about this.
Pokemon, right? But you can get every single Pokemon. So not bullshit, buy two versions, you can get one Pokemon from this version, one Pokemon from that version. No Mew, Celebi bullshit, I just want every Pokemon. That would honestly be the only thing I'd want to make.
So a
Yeah,
hacked
so-
ROM.
Yeah, there's a few hacked
Basically
ROMs
like
in
a ROM, but I I don't know, like the way that they do that, the only ones that I've ever seen, the way that they do that is annoying to me.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see a Pokemon world where it's a game that takes place across. And I've talked to Tribal about this a few times. Imagine all of the different Pokemon regions in one game, and you sort of start off with one, and then you can sort of, if you wanted, you can travel to another one, even though you're only 3 gyms into the first one. But you sort of have a level cap on what you can transfer between regions until you've unlocked the right number of badges in that area. Sort of thing.
Yeah. People have been talking about that one for ages. They refer to it as Pokemon Rainbow or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Also
that would be obviously that'd be awesome.
People also talk about the idea of a Pokemon MMO.
Oh yeah, that one's been around.
Well, that was coming out. That was gonna come out. They were gonna make that. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Can confirm it was gonna happen.
The
then they
MMO hype
decided
is
MMO died.
the MMO hype is really dying down now. I mean,
Yeah, now they just need to make it.
It's picked up again with Destiny, but like,
And then people realised what Destiny was, and that it was just one ridiculously long grind fest, and then gave up on it before, what are they called? Bungie could go, no, it's not a grind fest. Look, we fixed it. Everyone's like, too late, we're gone, bye.
look, guys, we took out fucking what's his name? The fucking the dude from Game of Thrones, the midget.
Peter Dinklage. They
Peter
took out
Dinklage. We
Dinklebot.
took out Peter Dinklage's voice, guys. Don't worry, we made it all right.
It's okay, we're releasing a new DLC, and then another DLC, and then another DLC. I think they're up to their 9th DLC. The game's been out for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Just
So
thought I'd throw that one in there.
that guy that used to steal all of your good stuff, he doesn't do that anymore. He actually gives you the thing he's meant to give you, which is something we should have fixed before the game even came out.
Yeah.
I could smash Destiny all day long. Anyway.
Okay, yeah.
Who couldn't?
I think I would have liked, because I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. Like while I'm editing this tomorrow, actually, I'm probably going to be like, I should have said this. But what I'm going to say right now is,
Well, how about this? We leave a pause, and then everyone goes,
no,
yes,
I'm going to say this. I'm going to
really
say
good
this.
idea.
You listen to me. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say this. I would like someone to have fixed Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies. Because, like, Transit, the first map they brought out, which was Transit, was awful. And I would have liked...
They did fix it though, but like, Transit was just the crap map, and then there was actually... I played the rest of the maps, because my friend had them all, so I was just like, I went over there and played them, and the other maps are actually good, I want to say. Average.
Not as good as like
Not as good as
Black Ops
1.
Black Ops 1 and World at War maps.
Yeah.
And even some of the Black Ops 1 maps weren't that good.
Yeah, but like, they were alright after Transit. Transit was just like a big problem.
I would have liked someone to fix Transit, take out that fucking bullshit. I can't see anything in these fucking little gremlin things that clawing my face off when I want to go anywhere. Make me so angry. I don't know. I'll say that for now.
If I could mod any game, I would throw Pokeballs into Ark Survival Evolved. So no more of this.
Oh my god! Do it.
You just walk up to them, or throw a Pokeball at them, and you've caught it.
What are you talking
wait, you've
about?
got to battle them.
Do
You've
it.
got to weaken them first. Remember?
Yeah. You've got a starting Pokemon. You start with a Dodo, and you've got to train that Dodo up so you can take on a Dilo. Then once you take on a Dilo, and it works sort of like the way the Minecraft Pokemon mod works, where you throw the Pokeball at the thing you want to battle, and if it hits it, you then go into the battle mode with that thing. Or if they attack you, it goes into the battle mode for that, whatever that is. And that would be absolutely hilarious.
I think they just have to make that. Make it.
That's
pretty
a
sure
thing
it
that
exists
has to
somewhere.
happen.
What are we waiting for? Skype call over, let's get to work.
Please don't.
We all have the skills. We all have the skills, don't we? Let's start the
I know how
Kickstarter.
to draw a Pokeball.
I'll get some quick hot money with this Minecraft mod I'm going to make. I'll make some hot cash. And then with all the millions I make from that... Because, I mean, let's be honest, how fucking hard is it to release some shitty fucking Minecraft skins? Come on. And then I'll just fucking use
$15
that...
a piece.
Yeah, $15 per skin. That's the Microsoft model. And we'll use all that money to make this Ark Survival mod.
Yes.
There you
Having
go.
said that, I would actually like a third-person Pokemon that is like the Pokemon games I have on my DS. I guess it is now, though. With
Almost.
Post X and Y. Because I used to play Colosseum a lot on the GameCube. But Colosseum was more of a story game than a Pokemon game. Like, you played it for, oh my god, you run around and you do this, and you kind of do Pokemon battles, but you don't find any Pokemon anywhere. There's a specific set of, like, 20 Pokemon you can get out of, 300 that were out at the time.
It was 39, I'll have you know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
How dare you even suggest it was only 20?
Yeah. I mean, I say that, but when X and Y come out and everything started going more 3D and whatever, I guess we're kind of already there.
No, if you're gonna really go for high hopes with Pokemon, augmented reality Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah. Google Glass Pokemon.
Or just the lens, Microsoft HoloLens. But they'll never partner together, so that's never going to happen. Anyway, Triad, did you have a game?
Yeah, the best game ever that needs to be bigger and better. Fallout. They all need to be bigger. Need more land, more things to fight, more places to visit. Hello, Australia. Can you imagine what these mutated kangaroos would look like?
I think you will find they've already released a Mad Max game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fallout Australia,
Fallout,
now with
not
Mad Max.
Ridiculous Australian crap.
That's what I said, Mad Max. I don't understand what
Honestly,
you're saying.
I'd love an Aussie. Yeah, China or something like that.
I'd
love an Aussie map pack.
And they just need to make it... I need to make it bigger.
Well, instead of the
game that never ends.
The Nuka-Cola, you could have Nuka V.
Yes.
It already tastes like crap, so it's not going to change anything.
Well, there you go.
So
Nuka VV.
200-year-old lamingtons. Kangaroo steaks.
That is still perfectly normal.
Yeah, it'd be delicious if a bit irradiated.
You could have Uluru lift up out of the ground and the Ark is underneath it. Then every time you open it, you can see the whole...
Ark, it's a vault.
Vault, Ark, whatever.
The vault would be inside. You wouldn't be able to lift Uluru. Oh my god, David. Whatever your name is.
Giant hinge at the back with a couple of pieces of hydraulics, and it'll be a whole bat cave.
No, the whole point of Fallout is the vaults are in the mountains.
How about
you can't have the mountains lift off.
All right.
That's not a mountain. That's a rock.
And I'm coming over there. I'm going to come over there and put you in your place, mister. You cannot lift a giant rock.
Okay, how about this? We'll compromise and we'll say that there should be a Batman skin where you are Batman and you go into the Bat Cave and the only people you ever meet are Robin and Batgirl and stuff in the Bat Cave. We can call it Vault Bat Cave.
The Bat Vault.
The Bat Vault.
Bo, I would like you to know that I actually made your picture this week the Bodler again.
Ah, wonderful. It works perfectly.
A mod that I would like to see is a Zoid game that's actually as good as or better than the GameCube Zoids games. That would be nice. We need a good Zoids game.
It's an old anime which is robot animals, basically.
Robot animals shooting at each other.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Think like mechas, only they're animals.
Yeah, pretty much.
So like Pokemon.
Sort of. Yeah. But robots. And big and huge.
Pokemons, I think.
No, they're actually...
They're like 4 stories tall.
Thing.
Oh.
They're like 4 stories tall. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's one of
I guess I'll throw in mine, and this one, considering I've said it about 12 times today, Vampire the Masquerades, werewolves.
Oh god, no. Anything but vampires and werewolves.
No, I would love, the werewolves in Vampire the Masquerade is basically one werewolf that kicks your ass. I would like to see a mod that brings in the actual werewolf lore, and you can actually,
is that the one we have to run around that building?
Yeah.
Oh man, that one scared the crap out of me. I don't want a mod for that.
No, I want a mod so you can play that.
No.
You can
It would be
the
terrifying.
fucking werewolf.
Yeah, and it would be like my Rex in Ark. It'd be so overpowered, you kill everything.
No,
That
because
sounds brilliant.
I would balance it.
Poor Cuddles, R.I.P.
Well, that one's shit compared to my new one. Anyway,
AK.
okay. Kill a bitch.
So do you call the vampires like Edward and stuff, or what?
Yeah.
Only for
This
them
is
to
a very
die.
different vampire. These are the vampires that do burn alive in sunlight.
Oh, no, that's not how they work. They sparkle.
Like a million diamonds in their skin.
No. That's a
like
Bruja
diamonds in
with 10
the
points of
sky.
fortitude saying, fuck you, because I so-called damage. You can't actually get a vampire that would sparkle. They'd just sit there flaking because they have that much fortitude. They're like, yeah, this hurts, but it ain't killing me.
So, not diamonds in the sky.
Ew.
Alright. I'll leave my dreams on lockdown.
Anyway, moving on.
The only other thing I can think of is, like, if modders got really heavily involved in, like, Evolve or some shit, and, like, made it, and gave it more content, or any of those games that come out recently that died off just because they had huge hype behind them, but they didn't live up to it because you could play most of every kind of scenario in the game in 10 minutes, and then you wouldn't need to play it anymore.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, Titanfall and
Yeah.
Evolve.
Titanfall was good, and I enjoyed it for about the first week that it was out, and
It's
haven't touched it
repetitive.
since.
They're very repetitive games.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of
Let's have
variety
a-
you can build into them.
Let's have a multiplayer map campaign. Yeah, that'll work. That'll really work. Uh-huh.
How about this? Massive modding into Splatoon. Instead of being squids, you can now be tigers dancing through paint.
That sounds brilliant. I love Splatoon.
Or
Squid, you're a kid, you're a squid, you're a kid now. What if there was more modding for Nintendo games? Like we could
Yeah.
You're never going to get modding for Nintendo.
Well,
though.
yeah, no shit, because it's only on their consoles.
yeah. Well, yes and no. Nintendo is going to be releasing some handheld games soon.
Some stuff on mobile.
On mobile, yeah.
But they're working with another company for that, so...
Yeah.
Finally. Didn't they have like a thing where they were like all against going mobile for like ages?
Yeah, they've also just, lack of a better word, leaked plans for what the new Nintendo system's going to be. And it's effectively a hard drive, a processor, some RAM, and that's about it. So,
Okay.
My
just-
com-
Seems
my
like
computer-
something I'm gonna have to buy.
My computer sounds better than this.
yeah. Just chop the disk drive off a Wii U, and it's effectively that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So it's-
there's no disk drive in it.
No
So
disk
it's
drive.
a
got a
online base.
Yeah, it's got a
Ah, I hate
online
my life.
base.
Does it have USB ports at least?
No, but it
Alright.
does have an SD card reader. Because yeah,
Whatever
Yay,
happened
micro
to
SD.
whatever happened to the Steam box?
it's still a thing.
Is it? Isn't it?
Yeah, if
was
you
it
go to-
already supposed to come out, or did they just
Yeah,
give out?
if you go to JB Hi-Fi, they've got them.
Oh, okay, I didn't even know.
Yeah, you can buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's just,
they're shit.
there's not much that runs on the Steam OS. Did the Steam OS actually come out?
Yeah, it came out ages
Yeah,
ago.
it's out.
Yeah. They were lending it out to like Alienware and people like that, weren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, but
It has
Alienware,
less
Alienware
games
came
than-
out and said, "This is probably going to be our worst selling product, but we're going to do it."
Yeah. Well, so one of the things that's really disappointed me is...
Oh, sorry, we're
the
keeping
current-
you up, Triad, Mr. Mrs. Fucking get off my show, unbelievable.
One of the things I was going to say is the current generation of consoles has the potential for modding, but at the same time, it doesn't have the same potential as a computer. And one of the games, and for the life of me I can't think of what it is, it might even be the new Fallout. Is it the new Fallout?
Fallout 4.
I think...
I think it is Fallout 4, was talking about having console-capable modding abilities.
Yeah,
The
yeah, they
Xbox
talked
would
about it
be-
at E3.
If they pull it off, that would be spectacularly awesome. Like,
Yeah,
one
no,
of the-
Xbox in general, they they were talking about how they're actually going to make that for every game. They're bringing out like a green light type thing, except for for Xbox. Obviously, it's like select. Like there's not as many as what there are on computer, but yeah, apparently that's already becoming a thing.
Yeah,
it's like supposed to happen in a couple of months.
Yeah, which is going to be really cool. The only downside I see to that is some mods will literally melt your console through the floor. Yeah. If you're not careful, that will happen.
Yeah, I was going to say they're not like...
Not even over-exaggerating.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're much more simple machines than we think, the consoles.
Yeah.
Like, you don't realise until you build a computer for yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
If I bought a computer instead of my Xbox One and PS4, my computer would be awesome.
Yeah.
Instead I've got a PS4 gathering dust and Xbox One I only really play Minecraft on.
Yeah, I said it last episode. The big appeal of consoles is that you buy it and it's ready. You put it down, you plug it in, slot in the game, and it's ready. It's done. And you don't need to worry about anything that goes on inside it or how good your specs are. You don't have to worry about any of that shit.
Yeah.
You just buy a console and it's
standardized across the board.
Fucking ready. But I'll turn on my computer. Well, this is a big problem with my old computer. I'd put in a game, or I'd download a game, and it'd say, your specs are not good enough.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to upgrade. Oh, this is not good. No. And I'd have to down settings or up settings and change the quality just so some of my games could run. And it was like, fuck me. Now I've built my own computer, and it's a bit of a fucking beast. So, like, it can run just about any game.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's a problem with that. There's a problem with that. It's, when you play certain games, your computer runs too well, and then you can't play them.
Yeah.
I've had this happen to me 3 times.
That's older games that aren't properly coded for it.
No, it's not.
Grand Theft
Arkham
Auto,
City.
Grand Theft Auto, when it first came out, couldn't do cross-play between graphics cards for quite a while.
That's weird.
On PC. And it killed
World
your frame
of
rate.
Warcraft even? Yeah, World of Warcraft even, until like recently, until they did that big, whatever it was, Warlords of Draenor update, you couldn't use dual compatible, like, graphics cards or something. So, like, you had to go into your settings and make sure it's only running on one drive, and I'm like, oh, okay. Luckily, I had a shit computer when I played that, so
that really hurts. That really hurts my next argument, which was for PCs, which is like, there's permanent backwards compatibility on a computer. You can get a game that come out 50 million years ago, and you can still play it on your PC. Whereas if you play on
If you can get me a copy of A-Train from Windows 95 era and you get that working on your 64-bit system right now, I will give you money.
You'll give me money?
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, I mean, even
chuck a
Fallout
floppy
3,
disk in there, baby.
Yeah.
even Fallout 3 doesn't recognise over 4 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
Like, Fallout 3 just chucks a fit at more than 4 gigs of RAM, so...
Random note, the server I've got in my lounge room, which is my media center for the whole house, actually has a floppy drive on it. I'm looking at it right now.
That is beautiful. I love floppy disks. As stupid as they are amazing.
A 3 1/4?
Yeah, 3 1/4.
Yeah. It'd be really funny if you had a 5.5.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Just remember, kiddies, make sure you take the floppy disk out before you turn your computer on, or else your computer won't start properly.
Because it loads from floppy.
Well, that's where modding sort of started, if you want to get back into the history of modding. The history of modding is all the way back in the days where you had to use, sort of code it separately and then save it on this disk, which is about the size of your bloody dining room table. Then you had to try and get that inside a drive, even though it was just never quite the right shape to fit in the drive properly to begin with. Once it was in there and working, then you could do all sorts of weird things. Like, remember A-Train came on 4 3 1/4 inch floppy drives, and it was like Locomotion, but exponentially more simple. It's like so bad. It's
Has
like
anyone bought a game, like a game for disc, gone to EB Games or something and bought like the latest fucking GTA 5 or some shit for computer? It comes in like 12 discs now.
wow.
It feels like the old days where you'd fucking You'd have a fucking box, and you'd open it up, and there'd be 20 floppy disks in there, and you gotta systematically keep
Go
swapping
through
them.
and work out which one it is, and then
You know what? Give me a second. I'll open up Batman Arkham Knight, because I haven't even
You do not
unpeeled the
have a
wrap.
camera.
Just a sec.
You do not have a camera.
I'm gonna
This
count
is
it.
pointless.
I'm
yeah.
gonna count it.
Well,
I'm gonna count.
let's see.
Anyway, should we look at wrapping this up a bit more and get back to final thoughts, or are we going to keep wandering?
Tribal,
Yeah.
do whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
Final thoughts sounds good to me.
Yep. Okay, so we'll go through the full lot. Victor's
Okay,
busy,
so-
so Bo, final thoughts. Mods, good or
Um,
bad?
This one.
Worth-
Here we go.
Not
Alright,
worth.
shut up for a second. Assassin's
Fine.
Creed Unity. 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. I've lost the 5th.
I was just about to say my Arkham Knight has 5 discs. I only just unwrapped it after 2 months. So there you go, 5 discs.
There you go.
Mods good. Mods are good. Like mods, make more aesthetic ones. That is all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a
so-
HD remake of Empire at War. I like that game. It was a good game.
So final thoughts on mods, Spino?
Mods are good. And if you ever want to get into actually developing games and stuff like that, you should look into the modding community. They're very helpful. There's YouTube videos that'll teach you everything you need to know. All the tools are normally free. And right now, if you're really, really quick and you get on it almost straight away, Ark Survival Evolved dev kit is free download. And they're having a contest where you can win crap tons of money worth of computer gear if you make a really good mod. Downside, it's a 50 gig download. Have fun with that.
Oh, wow. To bounce off that, Notch, developer of Minecraft, gave this advice to people who aspire to get into the video game industry. The best way to get in is not to go to school and spend years studying this shit. The best way is actually to make games. And actually get involved and do it. And be actively making games. So,
Shit.
I just wanted to say that. Like,
Mm-hmm. So any other final thoughts on that, Victor, on mods in general?
Mod's good. Me no play games at the moment that good for mod. Me play League of Legends and fucking SWTOR. No good for mod.
Triad?
Mods are good. Some are crap. But yeah, keep working at it. Start small, work your way up to big, and you never know, you might get a job at Bethesda.
And the secret is to give me all of your money.
Yes.
No.
And
Yeah.
then you will be great. Then you will be amazing mod man.
The answer to that is no, but also 100% yes.
You should have said the answer to that is no, but yes, give me all of your money. From like you saying that, and so everyone gives you money instead of me. But no.
I mean, I'll just take your money, so it's fine. No, don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll split 50.
Oh yeah.
60, 80.
Yeah.
I'll get it all.
And then we can move out because you can.
I love how that's 60-80. That's not even correct maths.
No, we'll get 140% of everyone's money, so it works out perfectly.
That's some interesting investing you got there.
Take out a second mortgage.
Yeah. Final thoughts from my side. Mods, they're good. Build what you want. If you want to have it, make it. If other people like it, great. But you're doing what you want. You know, don't... I really enjoy mods, but I really hate some of the people that play mods and their attitudes towards it. So, you build a great mod, ignore the complete twits that abuse you over it.
No.
If you're happy with it, leave it.
Well, the best way to make a mod or get ideas to make a mod is to play the fucking game and then go,
That
could
was
use more
shit.
of this. It could use more of this.
Yeah.
Why don't I just do it
And-
myself?
And
you do.
the golden rule is ignore the haters. If you're doing it for free and people come onto your page and they're like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, just ignore them.
Because if you can dream it, you
Yeah.
can do it.
And if they don't like it, tell them to make their own damn mod.
Yeah, go off and do it yourself. Like, you got that much of a problem? Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And learn how to hack their bank account.
Stop giving away my secret!
Thank you very much, Spino, for coming on to the All Random All podcast.
Thank you for having me. If anyone wants to catch my podcast, it is Monday night at 7 p.m. Queensland time. And you can find more details on facebook.com/savesci-fi. One word.
Yes.
That's fun.
Check him out. Are you actively still making mods, or is that something that you don't really do much anymore?
I don't really do it anymore. All my mods are up on ModDB. One of them is Sci-Fi War 2.0, and there's a couple other little ones that I can't remember. But yeah, I haven't.
You were going to do something with ARC, but then gave up trying to download the mod.
I downloaded that 50 gig dev kit 3 times. The first time it was corrupted. The second time's Windows Update decided to restart my computer, and the download said, "Oh, by the way, because we didn't finish, we got to start again." And the third time I got about 10 minutes into it, I said, "Nah, screw this, I'm fucking over it."
Maybe you should go back to TAFE.
Yeah, I need to go back to TAFE and use their internet.
No,
It'll be over in literally 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Just walk in. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to the All Random All Podcast.
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 And that
is a wrap. Nice juicy chicken wrap.
Catches.